High definition, or HD, refers to video that is of higher resolution and quality than standard definition video. The definition of video, in general, refers to the number of pixels in a given display. A pixel is the smallest visible element on a display. With HD video, there are more pixels packed into a display, producing a sharper, cleaner image. Video images with more than 480 horizontal lines in North America or 576 horizontal lines in Europe are accepted as high definition. In general, 480 scan lines is the minimum for high definition video, even though the majority of systems greatly exceed that. In some contexts, standard resolution images captured at rates faster than normal by a high-speed camera can be considered high definition. These capture rates are typically 60 fps in North America and 50 fps in Europe. Today, we have many forms of high-definition video, including 720p HD and 1080p. Anything beyond 1080p, such as 4K, would be categorized as Ultra HD. High-definition displays are everywhere. From televisions and desktop monitors to laptop screens and tablets, high definition is the new gold standard for image resolution. Select X series, Y series, and Z series laptops come equipped with a full HD display for unparalleled picture quality, crispness, and clarity. However, it's important to understand that high definition can refer to image resolutions of different size. This includes HD, Full HD, and Ultra HD. What do these terms mean, and which resolution is right for you? Full HD refers to 1080p image resolution. Full HD is the standard resolution for Blu-ray, digital television, and most HD videos found online, like those on YouTube, Hulu, and Vimeo. Below Full HD sits standard high definition or 720p, a high definition image resolution that is lower than full 1080p. On the upper end of the spectrum, there is Ultra HD, UHD, or 4K. This image resolution is larger, crisper, and clearer than even 1080p. However, the Ultra HD image resolution hasn't yet been universally adopted. In some cases, the term HD may be used interchangeably with Full HD to describe a product's image resolution. This can easily lead to confusion, as HD can also refer to standard high definition, or 720p. For clarity, you should know that HD may refer to 720p or 1080p, but Full HD can only refer to 1080p. Additionally, the phrase HD Ready only refers to 720p. If you are uncertain of a display's image resolution based on the product description, look at the specifications to determine the actual image size. This is discussed in greater detail below. The term HD Ready, when used to describe a television or monitor, refers to a 720p image resolution. The term HD may also be used. A 720p image resolution contains 720 lines of pixels along the vertical axis, and 1280 lines of pixels along the horizontal axis. Thus, the image is 720 pixels tall and 1280 pixels wide. This results in a total pixel count of 921,600. This is the lowest image resolution considered high definition. The difference between HD Ready, or HD, Full HD, and Ultra HD can be seen below. HD, 720p image resolution, 1280 x 720 pixels, approximately 1 million total pixels. Full HD, 1080p image resolution, 1920 x 1080 pixels, approximately 2 million total pixels. Ultra HD, 4K image resolution, 3840 x 2160 pixels, approximately 8 million total pixels. The more pixels there are in an image, the better. Why? Because with more pixels, an image can be displayed at larger sizes without suffering picture degradation. More pixels in a given area also allow for an image to contain little to no visible pixels. This is known as a retina display. In a retina display, there are more pixels in a specific area than can be individually seen by the human eye. What is the difference between HD and Full HD in practice? By way of example, consider this: a 50 television with a 1080p image resolution will be clearer and sharper than a 50 television with a 720p image resolution. Additionally, a 1080p Retina display can be physically larger than a 720p Retina display, as there are more total pixels. For the best picture quality possible, Full HD offers a superior image to standard high definition. High definition video, HD video, is video of higher resolution and quality than standard definition. While there is no standardized meaning for high definition, generally any video image with considerably more than 480 vertical scan lines, North America, or 576 vertical lines, Europe, is considered high definition. 480 scan lines is generally the minimum, even though the majority of systems greatly exceed that. Images of standard resolution captured at rates faster than normal, 60 frames/second North America, 50 fps Europe, by a high-speed camera may be considered high definition in some contexts. Some television series shot on high-definition video are made to look as if they have been shot on film, a technique which is often known as filmizing. Modern HD specifications date to the early 1980s, when Japanese engineers developed the Haivision 1125 line interlaced TV standard, also called Muse, that ran at 60 frames per second. The Sony HDVS system was presented at an international meeting of television engineers in Algiers, April 1981, and Japan's NHK presented its analog high-definition television, HDTV, system at a Swiss conference in 1983. The NHK system was standardized in the United States as Society of Motion Picture and Television Engineers, SMPT, standard #240M in the early 1990s, but abandoned later on when it was replaced by a DVB analog standard. Haivision video is still usable for HDTV video interchange, but there is almost no modern equipment available to perform this function. Attempts at implementing Haivision as a 6 MHz broadcast channel were mostly unsuccessful. All attempts at using this format for terrestrial TV transmission were abandoned by the mid-1990s. Europe developed HDMAC, 1250 lines, 50 Hz, a member of the MAC family of hybrid analog/digital video standards. However, it never took off as a terrestrial video transmission format. HDMAC was never designated for video interchange except by the European Broadcasting Union. High-definition digital video was not possible with uncompressed video due to impractically high memory and bandwidth requirements, with a bit rate exceeding 1 Gbps for full HD video. Digital HD TV was enabled by the development of discrete cosine transform, DCT, video compression. The DCT is a lossy compression technique that was first proposed by Nasir Ahmed in 1972, and was later adapted into a motion-compensated DCT algorithm for video coding standards such as the H.26x formats from 1988 onwards and the MPEG formats from 1993 onwards. Motion-compensated DCT compression significantly reduced the amount of memory and bandwidth required for digital video, capable of achieving a data compression ratio of around 100:1 compared to uncompressed video. By the early 1990s, DCT video compression had been widely adopted as the video coding standard for HDTV. The current high-definition video standards in North America were developed during the course of the Advanced Television process initiated by the Federal Communications Commission in 1987 at the request of American broadcasters. In essence, the end of the 1980s was a death knell for most analog high-definition technologies that had developed up to that time. The FCC process, led by the Advanced Television Systems Committee, ATSC, adopted a range of standards from interlaced 1080 line video, a technical descendant of the original analog NHK 1125/30 Hz system, with a maximum frame rate of 30 Hz, 60 fields per second, and 720 line video, progressively scanned, with a maximum frame rate of 60 Hz. In the end, however, the DVB standard of resolutions, 1080, 720, 480, and respective frame rates, 24, 25, 30, were adopted in conjunction with the Europeans that were also involved in the same standardization process. The FCC officially adopted the ATSC transmission standard in 1996, which included both HD and SD video standards. In the early 2000s, it looked as if DVB would be the video standard far into the future. However, both Brazil and China have adopted alternative standards for high-definition video that preclude the interoperability that was hoped for after decades of largely non-interoperable analog TV broadcasting. High-definition image sources include terrestrial broadcast, direct broadcast satellite, digital cable, high-definition disc, BD, digital cameras, internet downloads, and video game consoles. Most computers are capable of HD or higher resolutions over VGA, DVI, HDMI and/or DisplayPort. The optical disc standard Blu-ray disc can provide enough digital storage to store hours of HD video content. Digital versatile discs or DVDs, that hold 4.7 GB for a single layer or 8.5 GB for a double layer, are not always up to the challenge of today's high-definition, HD, sets. Storing and playing HD movies requires a disc that holds more information, like a Blu-ray disc, which hold 25 GB in single-layer form and 50 GB for double layer, or the now-defunct high-definition digital versatile discs, HD DVDs, which held 15 GB or 30 GB in, respectively, single and double layer variations. Blu-ray discs were jointly developed by 9 initial partners including Sony and Philips, which jointly developed CDs for audio, and Pioneer, which developed its own Laserdisc previously with some success, among others. HD DVD discs were primarily developed by Toshiba and NEC with some backing from Microsoft, Warner Bros., Hewlett-Packard, and others. On February 19, 2008, Toshiba announced it was abandoning the format and would discontinue development, marketing, and manufacturing of HD DVD players and drives. High-definition television, HD or HDTV, describes a television system which provides a substantially higher image resolution than the previous generation of technologies. The term has been used since at least 1933, in more recent times, it refers to the generation following standard definition television, SDTV, often abbreviated to HDTV or HDTV. It is the current de facto standard video format used in most broadcasts, terrestrial broadcast television, cable television, satellite television, and Blu-ray discs. HDTV may be transmitted in various formats. 720p, 1280 x 720 920 1600 pixels. 1080i, 1920 x 1080, interlace scan, 1,036,800 pixels, 1.04 mpx. 1080p, 1920 x 1080, progressive scan, 2,073,600 pixels, 2.07 mpx. Some countries also use a non-standard CTA resolution, such as 1440 x 1080i, 777,600 pixels, 0.78 mpx, per field or 1,555,200 pixels, 1.56 mpx, per frame. When transmitted at 2 megapixels per frame, HDTV provides about 5 times as many pixels as SD, standard definition television. The increased resolution provides for a clearer, more detailed picture. In addition, progressive scan and higher frame rates result in a picture with less flicker and better rendering of fast motion. HDTV, as is known today, first started official broadcasting in 1989 in Japan, under the Muse/Hivision analog system. HDTV was widely adopted worldwide in the late 2000s. The term high definition once described a series of television systems first announced in 1933 and launched starting in August 1936, However, these systems were only high definition when compared to earlier systems that were based on mechanical systems with as few as 30 lines of resolution. The ongoing competition between companies and nations to create true HD TV spanned the entire 20th century, as each new system became higher definition than the last. In the 2010s, this race has continued with 4K, 5K, and 8K systems. Early HD TV broadcasting used analog technology, but today it is transmitted digitally and uses video compression. In 1949, France started its transmissions with an 819-line system, with 737 active lines. The system was monochrome only and was used only on VHF for the first French TV channel. It was discontinued in 1983. In 1958, the Soviet Union developed Transformator, the first high-resolution, definition, television system capable of producing an image composed of 1,125 lines of resolution aimed at providing teleconferencing for military command. It was a research project and the system was never deployed by either the military or consumer broadcasting. In 1986, the European Community proposed HDMAC, an analog HD TV system with 1,152 lines. A public demonstration took place for the 1992 Summer Olympics in Barcelona. However, HDMAC was scrapped in 1993 and the Digital Video Broadcasting (DVB) project was formed, which would foresee development of a digital HD TV standard. The limited standardization of analog HD TV in the 1990s did not lead to global HD TV adoption, as technical and economic constraints at the time did not permit HD TV to use bandwidths greater than normal television. Early HD TV commercial experiments, such as NHK's Muse, required over 4 times the bandwidth of a standard definition broadcast. Despite efforts made to reduce analog HD TV to about twice the bandwidth of SD TV, these television formats were still distributable only by satellite. In Europe too, the HDMAC standard was considered not technically viable. In addition, recording and reproducing an HD TV signal was a significant technical challenge in the early years of HD TV, Sony HDVS. Japan remained the only country with successful public broadcasting of analog HD TV, with 7 broadcasters sharing a single channel. HD TV broadcast systems are identified with 3 major parameters. Frame size in pixels is defined as number of horizontal pixels times number of vertical pixels, for example 1280 times 720 or 1920 times 1080. Often the number of horizontal pixels is implied from context and is omitted, as in the case of 720p and 1080p. Scanning system is identified with the letter P for progressive scanning or I for interlaced scanning. Frame rate is identified as number of video frames per second. For interlaced systems, the number of frames per second should be specified, but it is not uncommon to see the field rate incorrectly used instead. At a minimum, HD TV has twice the linear resolution of standard definition television, SD TV, thus showing greater detail than either analog television or regular DVD. The technical standards for broadcasting HD TV also handle the 16:9 aspect ratio images without using letterboxing or anamorphic stretching, thus increasing the effective image resolution. A very high-resolution source may require more bandwidth than available in order to be transmitted without loss of fidelity. The lossy compression that is used in all digital HD TV storage and transmission systems will distort the received picture when compared to the uncompressed source. High-definition image sources include terrestrial broadcast, direct broadcast satellite, digital cable, IPTV, Blu-ray video disc, BD, and Internet downloads. HD TV can be recorded to DVHS, digital VHS or data VHS, WVHS, analog only, to an HD TV capable digital video recorder, for example DirecTV's high-definition digital video recorder, Sky HD's set-top box, Dish Network's VIP 622 or VIP 722 high-definition digital video recorder receivers, These set-top boxes allow for HD on the primary TV and SD on the secondary TV, TV2, without a secondary box on TV2, or TiVo Series 3 or HD recorders, or an HD TV-ready HTPC. Some cable boxes are capable of receiving or recording 2 or more broadcasts at a time in HD TV format, and HD TV programming, some included in the monthly cable service subscription price, some for an additional fee, can be played back with the cable company's on-demand feature. The massive amount of data storage required to archive uncompressed streams meant that inexpensive uncompressed storage options were not available to the consumer. In 2008, the Hauppauge 1212 personal video recorder was introduced. This device accepts HD content through component video inputs and stores the content in MPEG-2 format in a .ts file or in a Blu-ray-compatible format .m2ts file on the hard drive or DVD burner of a computer connected to the PVR through a USB 2.0 interface. More recent systems are able to record a broadcast high-definition program in its as broadcast format or transcode to a format more compatible with Blu-ray. Analog tape recorders with bandwidth capable of recording analog HD signals, such as WVHS recorders, are no longer produced for the consumer market and are both expensive and scarce in the secondary market. In the United States, as part of the FCC's plug-and-play agreement, cable companies are required to provide customers who rent HD set-top boxes with a set-top box with functional FireWire, IEEE 1394, on request. None of the direct broadcast satellite providers have offered this feature on any of their supported boxes, but some cable TV companies have. As of July 2004, boxes are not included in the FCC mandate. This content is protected by encryption known as 5C. This encryption can prevent duplication of content or simply limit the number of copies permitted, thus effectively denying most if not all fair use of the content. Thank you for watching this video.